morning whenever you are choosing to look at this podcast. As you may know, and as you may not know if this is your first time here, I'm Marvinetta Woodley Penn, and you are watching All Stories Matter. I created this show, this podcast, because I sincerely believe that everybody has a story to tell. And yes, those stories matter. And if we don't tell those stories, then we cannot blame anyone for not telling stories that interest us. We are the authors. We are the ones who preserve the who, the why, the when, the what, the where of our stories, not only for today, but for our families, for tomorrow, and for posterity. We have to tell stories. But first of all, I need you to get used to asking questions, asking those thought-provoking, those provocative, those uncomfortable questions, because it's only then that we get answers, honest, thoughtful, true answers that go to the core of who we really are. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to do all that with our guest today, and I do have a touch of laryngitis today, so excuse me for not being full-voiced, but I have to conserve my voice for later on. Again, I am so happy to be with you today. If you'd like to comment, if you'd like to send questions, if you'd like to just get in touch with me, reach out to Public Media Network right here in beautiful Kalamazoo. But without further ado, I want to stop talking and let my guests do some of the talking today. I am so honored to have, I don't know if he's Kalamazoo's own, but we're claiming him as our own, even though I'm not from Kalamazoo. I've been here long enough to say Kalamazoo's own, Mr. Sid Ellis. Sid, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. And Kalamazoo knows me as Sid the Rock Ellis.
Sid, see, I'm learning something new already. But before I let Sid tell his story, Sid the Rock Ellis tell his story, I have to tell the story of how I first met Mr. Sid the Rock Ellis. When I got to Kalamazoo, I was trying to ask anyone who would listen to me about the who, the why, the what, the where, the when, the people that I needed to know so that I could get connected in this little rich community. And one of the first people that came out of, one of the first names, I should say, that came out of someone's mouth was Sid Ellis. Not Sid the Rock Ellis, simply Sid Ellis. And so I was like, okay, I have to meet this Sid Ellis. I think I looked him up. I think I emailed him, and I never heard from him. And then I happened to go to an event. I know the event. It was the String Queens at Comstock Theater. A fabulous show. And I was with Miss Donna Odom, and Donna said, oh, there's Sid. I can do an introduction. So she introduced me to Sid. He's like, oh, hello. How are you? Here's my card. Give me a call. Send me an email. I followed up, as I always do. Never heard from him. And then I see him at different events. I'm like, Sid, hey, why you playing me? Why you pushing me to the curb? I thought it was kind of cool, but you keep pushing me to the curb, kicking me to the curb. And then I joined Rotary. But I never heard a word from Sid. Then I joined Rotary. And who is a Rotarian also? Mr. Sid Ellis. So I saw him every Monday. He had no choice but to pay me some attention after that. And then I saw what a cool guy he really is. And then he agreed to be on my podcast. And I'm so glad to have him here. So with all that being said, Sid, you don't have to defend yourself. I know you're a very popular guy. It's okay with me. I'm a newbie. Don't matter that much. But it's okay. I do understand.
I'm checking the emails. I know I emailed you back. But hey, you said I didn't have to defend myself, so I won't. I'll end it there.
See how diplomatic he is? Whoa. Now that's the mark of a true leader. Don't fight. Hey, just let it ride and move on. Sid, how are you today?
I'm fantastic, and it's good to be here with you.
Finally, yes, because I've been trying to get him on the show for a while, but he's a busy guy. So, Sid, tell me your story.
All right, so my story. I came to Kalamazoo in 1981 to go to Western Michigan University, but I started out at Kalamazoo Valley Community College. And the reason I came here is because I had an uncle and aunt who moved here when I was about 12 years old. I was very close to their kids. One of my cousins was the exact same age as I, and then I had a cousin a year under me and a cousin about 4 to 6 years above me. So I basically grew up with them, and then they moved to Kalamazoo.
Oh, wow.
So I would visit Kalamazoo every now and then, usually about once a year or every other year, but quite often I came here during the summer for about 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay, that's how we do,
So,
don't
yeah. So when I was looking for a place to go to leave Detroit, I thought, okay, why don't I go somewhere where I know somebody? Kalamazoo. So that's how I ended up here at Kalamazoo. And as I said, I started out at Kalamazoo Valley Community College and had a great year there. And then I moved on to Western Michigan University, had a great year there, and started partying and doing everything I wasn't supposed to do. But I had a great time there. I became a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the Epsilon Xi chapter there, the undergraduate chapter of the fraternity.
Okay.
And met
So
a
you
lot
had
of
to
friends.
go through all that pledging stuff.
Yes, so I did
Oh,
go
boy.
through all that pledging stuff, and
Okay.
a lot different now, as it should be. I
Yes.
can and will say that.
Oh,
I had a great time pledging as a young man here at Western Michigan University, and but times have changed, and things should change with the times, which they have. You know,
good,
there in all fraternities and sororities, there have been some issues that have arisen up that have given some of us a bad name. But at the same time, it's still a great organization, especially African American fraternities and sororities, because we go on further than just college. So after college, then you can become a member of the graduate chapter, which are people who have graduated from college and now in the working world doing a variety of different things. But community service is always above all the thing. And so what attracted me to the fraternity Alpha Alpha was that when I was at KBCC, I met these older Black men who were finishing up some classes and had to take classes out there, and they were just some of the most coolest scholarship and just great men, just great young Black men. And I thought, man, these guys are great. These guys are really cool.
Yeah, like
and
a group of a talented 10.
That's right.
Yeah,
So just often awesome personalities, attitudes, and just all around great men. And so when I transferred to Western Michigan University and found out that some of them were alphas, that's what attracted me to that fraternity.
So you were attracted to the men first,
I was attracted
to the images, to what they stood for.
That's right.
And then once you found out more information, it was like, oh, okay, I see myself in this.
Yes, that's what it was. Even though there were other organizations, of course, that I could have joined, I looked around and I thought, nope, this is the one I want to join.
Can I put a pin in that for a minute? I want to put a pin in that. We can't be what we can't see. So as we get further into our conversation about the state of theater in Kalamazoo and the world, and I'm not going to say the world, but in the United States, especially in Black communities, our children cannot be what they don't see.
That's right.
And if they don't get the opportunities to see theater, they don't really get it. So I just want to put a pin in that because you made that connection. I see these men. There's something about them that appeals to me. Now, other young men might see those men and say, just a bunch of phony people.
Right.
Okay? But there was something in you that connected with them.
That's
so
right.
There's something in a lot of people, especially our children, that can connect with all of these activities, all of these experiences, all of these opportunities. But if they don't see it, they don't know what they can connect to. But go ahead, back to your story. When
well,
you
I
were
want to
at
stay with
Western.
that pen for a moment
You wanna stay
because
with that pen?
it's very appropriate because I grew up in Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
And big city
Yes.
around predominantly black people, of course. In my elementary, middle school, and high school, most of my teachers were black. Very rarely did I have a white teacher until high school. I went to Cass Technical High School in Detroit, one of the top schools there and one of the top schools in our nation. And so the long story short of it is that, so I always saw black professionals. And so I like what you said, that we can't be what we can't see. And so, but because I was surrounded by black professionals, I always knew that I could be more than just a drug dealer, gangbanger, football player, basketball player, and what have you. One of my uncles, of course, several uncles in Detroit worked for the car companies. And so, I had some that worked in various other places. But because they worked for the car companies, those are some of the things that I always thought about, you know, working for the car company successfully. And so, but in any case, the long and short of it is, especially when I went to Cass Technical High School, where we had curriculums, so we had theater there. I was never interested in theater at that time. I was interested in commercial art and architectural design, which is what I eventually started in at Cass. And so in my curriculum, there was, I mean, I'm going to say at least 60 students per year. Now I'm going to break it down to 30. 30 students, black students who were in architectural design, black students who were in commercial design, black students who were in theater. And so, of course, depending on what the curriculum was, that depended on the size of how many students were involved in it. But my point is that even in high school, I was seeing a variety of different professions that I could be a part of.
Indeed.
And so, and at our school, since we came from all over the Detroit area, because it wasn't a regional based school, so it wasn't my school that I should have went to and did go to was Mumford High School, and so that was my area high school. I put it that way, the neighborhood high school. And so, but because Cass Tech was the type of school that it was, you had to have a certain GPA, but you didn't have to have a certain income. So we were some of the poorest people to some of the richest people, you know, so it wasn't an income-based thing. So I saw a variety of people, variety of kids from Hispanic, white, Asian, and all type of religions and backgrounds and things like that. So I was exposed to a lot in high school. So when I came here to Western, and was going to school, like we talked about, because I was exposed to so many different type of people. When I went to KVCC, Kalamazoo Valley Community College, and I saw these young black men who were doing what they came to school to do, and that was to get an education. And, you know, so that is what attracted me to that fraternity. So then I go to Western. And there, I pledged a fraternity, what have you, and I do meet some people who are in acting and that type of thing, but it still didn't totally interest me. But then, one day, I had a friend, one of my fraternity brothers, who was in a play. He invited me to the play, and I went, enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. And then, but it didn't still spark an interest in me. Until I went to see A Raisin in the Sun. Here at Kalamazoo Civic Theater. And it was at that time, it was produced by the Civic Black Theater. So then they had subgroups of the Kalamazoo Civic Theater. There was a Civic Black Theater, Civic Youth Theater, and one for, it's still right now, it's called the Readers Theater or something like that, I believe. The Senior Readers Theater. And so I went to see A Raisin in the Sun, which I had seen on television with Sidney Poitier, and Sidney Poitier was one of my favorite actors. So when I went to see the play, I went with that thought process, of course, that, I'm going to see something that Sidney Poitier was in. So I went to see it. It was great. They did a great performance, and I thought to myself, if they can do it, I can do it.
Oh boy.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
when I went down to intermission, they had all this information on how you could audition, what plays were coming up, and that type of thing. So I took all this material home with me. After the play was over, I scooped up all this information and I plastered it around all over my apartment. So I had the information on my bathroom door, on my kitchen refrigerator. I had a little small art studio that I use because I am an artist. I do pencil, pen and ink, watercolor, charcoal. And so I had an opportunity to set up a little small studio in my apartment. So in any case, I put this information out, put one of the flyers everywhere so I wouldn't forget when the next auditions were. So I go to the audition. I'm the only one there. And when I say the only one there, I am the only one who showed up other than the director.
Oh my gosh.
And so I got the part. I did audition, and then there was, it was called West Memphis Mojo. It was myself, three other male actors, and one female actress. And so,
we call ourselves actors.
Pardon?
We call ourselves actors.
Oh, the females do too. Okay, yes. So I'm sorry, I got to catch up to 2025. So in any case, I did that performance, and then the next performance, I was the only one to show up. And when I say that I was the only one to show up, I was the only one to show up for the first audition.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, which became sort of like a theme for the next 4 plays that I did, but not for the musical. I did not audition for the musical. And I don't remember what the musical was that first year that I started performing. But in any case, those musicals were the plays that we would get a variety of black actors to come out and audition for.
Yeah.
And so
got all those church singers.
Right. Yep, that's right. That's where you get them from. You go look for them in the church.
Yeah, look for them in the church.
And so I started performing, and then I started working with the Black Arts and Cultural Center.
Okay.
Because
right downstairs.
Right downstairs. That's right. Yeah. And so, but we weren't downstairs then.
Oh, okay.
Then we were on Burdick Street, 4 or 5 blocks up, across the street from what's now called Mr. President's. What was then called Mr. President's as well. So if people know where the club Mr. President's is, it was right at the...
Wait a minute, there's a club called Mr. President's?
Yeah, but it's not open. It's not. It's a bar, restaurant, club. Is not open currently.
Okay.
And so I did that for reference for people who, who are very familiar with Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So
Mr. President.
Actually, it's if people don't know where it's at, it's around the corner from KBCC downtown, or around the corner from the festival site downtown.
Okay.
The Cement Festival site, because of course there's Bronson Park. Yes. But then there's the other festival site that's considered the festival site, where most of the festivals are currently, or where they used to be. Arcadia Creek. That's it. Arcadia Creek Festival Site.
I went to several things there this
I'm glad you said
summer.
that. I couldn't think of it.
That's okay.
So in any case, at that time, the Black Arts and Cultural Center was, like I said, it was on Burdick Street, but they had, now I'm saying we because I became a volunteer, they had a building, first floor and second floor. And on the first floor, they would just, especially during the spring and summer, the door would just be open. There would be music coming from the whatever they were doing, whether it was dancing, singing, we had drummers. And so we had a variety of different things going on, instrumentalists. And so they would just leave the door open so people could hear what was going on. So if you're walking down the street, you're just drawn into it. And so a lot of people was drawn into it due to that. And so I did a play with the Black Arts and Cultural Center that I'll call the BACC, and it was called The Meeting. And I did that play with Buddy Hanna, who is now a popular poet, artist, writer, director, and producer himself. And so we met at that time over 30 years ago. I played Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and he played Malcolm X.
The meeting.
And so, that meeting. So we performed that, and that's how I got connected with the Black Arts and Cultural Center. And so I basically started becoming a community servant. So not just doing theater, but also serving the community through the Black Arts and Cultural Center, just helping in whatever area they needed. And so, and same thing with the theater. I did some backstage with the Kalamazoo Civic Theater, but not a whole lot because I was usually acting in a play.
Yes.
And so I became a community servant, just serving in other areas where people would ask me to help them at.
Okay.
And so then eventually I started going to a church here, Christian Life Center, and rededicated my life to Christ. I was born and raised a Christian, a Baptist when I was a kid. My grandfather was the Baptist church pastor, famous Hill Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend O.C. Johnson.
Okay.
My father, in his older age, became a minister himself.
Is that right?
Yeah, but we didn't live together. We had a strained relationship, but we still had a relationship. Like so many people, you know, whose father is not in the home. I would see him on birthdays, holidays, and things like that. But in any case, I come from a Christian-based background. So, as I said, I started serving in a variety of different ways. I started mentoring youth, started working for the serving in the church in the children's ministry. And while I was in the children's ministry, I met a woman named Miss Nettie. And Miss Nettie also went to Christian Life Center. But actually, let me back up and say I met her because of the Black Arts and Cultural Center, because she was a storyteller and a very popular storyteller here in the Kalamazoo area. So she would see me acting on stage. And but also she saw me doing puppetry at the church. We started doing puppets.
Wait a minute. Artist, drawing, community service, acting, puppetry.
Yeah.
What else is going to come out of this box?
I was even a clown at the church. I was a clown. I called myself Dzani and had a costume made and became a clown. I also did the animal costumes.
About running off to join the circus at one time?
in some form or fashion, I did. But just like the costume characters for football teams and baseball teams, we had characters, mascots. We had mascots in the church. We had one that was a lion costume, and you had one that was a dog costume. And so I would perform in both. One day I would be the dog, and one day I'd be the lion. And so, but I was mainly the lion.
Okay.
Yeah, the main lion. Goodness. Did we have a dog? We had a lion. That was it. We had a lion. Somebody else was a dog. Okay. But we had a lion. So I was the lion costume, I was the clown, and I was the puppeteer, and I was the dramatist because I created drama skits and plays and stuff like that for the church as well.
So add writer. Because you had to write it.
Writer, director, producer, actor of stage theater, and here now we're at Public Media Network.
Yeah.
I used to call it Community Access. The Community Access Center is what I would known it for. And so I got involved with the Community Access Center, and I started producing a 30-minute Christian variety show. And I would tell people it's a Christian Carol Burnett show because it was a variety of show. So I would have singers, I would have poets, we do comedy skits and drama skits and 30-minute performances. And so, yeah, a variety. Then I did that for about 8 to 10 years.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And
do you have any of those?
Still?
Do you have any, any videos of those shows?
Of those shows? Yeah, I still have videos of those shows, yeah. I sure do.
You've got to do something with
they're
them.
on VHS.
You can have them transferred. There's a place
I think some of them
I
might have some on DVD.
There's a place, and you can even put it in the cloud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'd have to go look at them.
Yeah, I forget the name of the place because I had some VHSs and I wanted to save them, and I took them. Oh my God, it's right on Westnedge. It's
really?
Norman's.
Oh, they take it from VHS to put it on DVD?
VHS. They would take it from almost any format that you have and transfer it to a DVD, to a thumb drive, to the cloud, with just about anything.
Yeah.
So you have no excuse.
I have no excuse.
plus, as I was saying, we have to preserve our stories.
Yes, we do.
I am now researching my mother, and because when she was alive, I'm not going to tell this very quickly, she did not want to talk about her past. She said it was too painful, so she wouldn't talk about it. So, and I was so curious that it just bugged me that I couldn't get her to say anything. But I would remember the stories that other people would tell that I would overhear. So I'm piecing those stories together and trying to talk to my last remaining relatives who are still alive, because she was such an interesting person for her time to do some of the things that she did. And what I don't learn, I'm just going to have to make up.
Okay. Well, I'm sure she was an interesting person, because she definitely created a very interesting child in you. You are one of the most interesting people that I've met. Yeah. And you're right. You came in.
Another word for that is crazy.
Well, you said it. I didn't. I'll let you say it. But what I will say, I will plug you. You are one of the people, like some of us have come to Kalamazoo and hit the ground running and getting involved in various things, and I love it. And we see each other everywhere, so that's always cool. Always.
Yes. But I don't want to interrupt. I just had to talk a little bit. I know I went off a little bit, but the preservation, the telling of our story is one thing. The preservation of those stories, the writing them down, and making sure that they are accessible. But if we have videos, then nobody can deny that it happened.
Yeah, that's
and if we
true.
preserve those videos, if we put a copy of it in the library, whoever will take it, preserve this, and I'm going to keep a copy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep a copy in a safe box and get one to Mama June, and I'm going to have them all over the place so that nobody can deny that TV show happened, that Carol Burnett Black Variety show happened at Community Media, Community Access.
Public Media Network,
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
All right, I received that, so I'm gonna take some time and look for those things so I can really preserve them like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that I started video producing for the church. Back to Miss Nettie. Okay. Powerful storyteller. So because I did puppetry and acting, she did professional storytelling, and she toured Michigan through what was called the Michigan Touring Directory, I believe. It's been a while, but the long story short of it is, it was a booklet that was printed that was based on a variety of different entertainers. So whether they was actors, storytellers, puppeteers, dancers, singers, who would get a grant through the state to perform at a variety of different places. And they didn't get the grant, but let's say a school could use that booklet, find somebody in the booklet and say, yeah, I want Miss Nettie, so I want to put in for this grant to get her. Or even if they didn't put in for a grant, it was accessible for you to say, oh, I want a storyteller, Miss Nettie, and I want her to come to my school. So Miss Nettie said, Sid, you could take that puppetry and you could take your acting and you could become a storyteller and a puppeteer, and you could advertise yourself as a storyteller and a puppeteer, and you would get gigs. And I kept saying, Miss Nettie, I'm no storyteller. She would say, Sid, you're a storyteller, you're an actor. You're telling a story when you're acting. And it literally took her almost a year to convince me that I could be a storyteller. I never looked at, for whatever amount of time or for whatever reason, I just didn't look at acting as being a storyteller.
Oh my gosh,
I mean, come on, really.
You're using somebody else's words. You're telling somebody else's story. But you are bringing that story to life. So
right, it's basically a monologue.
You have all the tools.
Right, and so, but I didn't see it. It took me a while. And it took me a while to understand what she was saying. Okay, but Sid, there's nobody else out there doing storytelling and puppetry. So if you created a 45-minute to a 60-minute performance of storytelling and puppetry, you could make money. So finally I did. So I started telling stories with her. She gave me some stories to tell, and I read some African folk tales and created my own little program. And I was able to get into that booklet and started getting gigs. And so, I mean, I performed all over Michigan, not really in the upper Michigan in the UP or anything like that, but Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Flint, Detroit, all over the schools here, and some of the public. Well, I did all of the elementary public schools here in Kalamazoo. I did some in Portage and in the outlining areas, and so I just started doing storytelling and puppetry professionally, touring with that. And so at the church, we use puppetry to minister to children and adults, and then I used the storytelling to do comedy and things at the church as well. So I would write and direct and produce things for the church, whether they were short skits as part of the pastor's sermon or New Year's Eve service. The sermon. Yeah, so I would take something, let's say whatever his topic was. Every now and then I would utilize his topic and create a little short skit about it. And that was where I got my show from, because I would get my ideas from his sermons and create a skit. And then boom. And so within the church, then I would sometimes create skits to perform here at the church, rather. And then especially for New Year's Eve. So we had a special New Year's Eve service every year, where we would do skits and we'd redeem songs. And the redeemed song would be us taking a secular song and changing it to a Christian song. And so it was about 3 or 4 years straight we did those. Very successful. And a lot of good material from those.
I can imagine.
And so I was serving at the church, and then I began working at the church. I was in the children's ministry, as I said, the video producer, and then eventually I became the executive director of the Black Arts and Cultural Center. That became my full-time job. And so I produced, of course, for the Black Arts and Cultural Center. And as you know, the Black Arts and Cultural Center does a variety of different things, from whether it's teaching kids dancing, art, theater. Of course, we have a gallery, artist gallery, and so we have different artists every month. And so that was my job, the executive director of the Black Arts and Cultural Center.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Being the ED, I'm losing my voice, but I just want to get it in a little bit. But being the executive director of any organization, a nonprofit, people don't understand all the work involved. I do. I ran one for 25 years. So
then you know.
Yes. If I had a hat, I'd take it off to you, because that is a lot of work. So how long were you in that capacity?
I was there at the Black Arts and Cultural Center for approximately 4.5 to 5 years. It was at least 4.5 years. And then I moved on, and eventually I became the fundraiser or fund developer at the YMCA of Greater Kalamazoo. Of course, it's one located in Kalamazoo and one located in Portage, Michigan. But I was still acting, still volunteering in a variety of different places. I started getting on boards and became a board member of a variety of different organizations. I don't even remember the first board that I was on, but I think it may have been the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo. I think that was the first board that I was on. And then eventually became a board member.
They're right on the second floor.
They're right on the second floor. And that was even before I became the ED at the Black Arts and Cultural Center. And that's what exposed me to grants, grant writing, and the opportunity to utilize grants so much in the Kalamazoo and surrounding area.
Awesome. So after that, then I started work. Then my next job was at the Douglas Community Association. And I had the opportunity to help celebrate 100 years of the Douglas being in the community. The Douglas Community Association has been here over 100 years. Now, it started out as an organization that was set up for soldiers in Battle Creek to have a place to go. Over 100 years ago, there was no specific place for black soldiers to go and fellowship outside of the not the fort, the barracks.
the barracks,
Okay.
And so they would come over to Kalamazoo, and at that time there was a tram or something that went from Battle Creek to Kalamazoo to even as far as Benton Harbor, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, and so the long and short of it is those black soldiers would get on it, come to Kalamazoo, and really just be roaming the streets. And so, of course, since there was no place for them to go, the black community welcomed them, whether it was inside their churches, inside their homes, and whatever other things that the black people were doing. They had an opportunity to bring the soldiers in and just love up on them. And so they realized, okay, we need a place for these black soldiers to go, because it really wasn't safe for them to just walk around in Kalamazoo as a black soldier. Not because of the Klan or people coming at them or things like that, but at the same time, they would sometimes get harassed by the police, and they're outsiders and things like that.
Here?
Right?
Don't you have some place to go?
Right? And no, they didn't have a place to go. So white and black citizens created the Douglas Community Association. It started out, of course, with a group of black men deciding, okay, we need some place for these soldiers to go. And they had a meeting, and then they created eventually the the Douglas Community Association. Excuse me, I get organizations mixed up.
But it's all good. It's all good. All
so they created the Douglas Community Association. Like I said, it started out as an opportunity and place for the black soldiers to have some place to go and fellowship and congregate, if you will. And then eventually it became a community organization due to a variety of different things. And at one point it was even the place for black kids to go to for preschool and after school. So it became somewhat of a daycare, child care for the black community on the north side of Kalamazoo. And of course, at that time, throughout these years, there was no other place for black people to go and play basketball and do a variety of different things. Not just basketball, not just football, not just baseball, because like I said, it became the spot where the black people were educated. Because at some point, when black people really started graduating from Western as teachers, they didn't have a place to teach. They weren't being hired, even in Kalamazoo. And so where are we going to do it? So they did it at the Douglas Community Association. They actually had, like I said, their preschool and after school program. They were really teaching these kids a variety of different things outside of what they were learning every day in the public schools. And so those teachers, those educators who was leading the Douglas Community Association at the time, eventually they did get hired by, Kalamazoo Public Schools and things like that. But my point is, they were additional education for the young black community that really helped the blacks on the north side.
Stepping outside of that curriculum. Where you have to teach this, you have to teach this in this hour, and this in this hour. But they were able to give them a holistic, I would imagine. They were able to give them a holistic education and really pour into them, because they knew what they were going to face once they got out into the world.
That's right. And so the Douglas blossomed into what it is right now, still a thriving organization for the north side of Kalamazoo, not just for African Americans, not just for the blacks, but for any and everybody, which it was and has been for so long. At one point, the Douglas Community Association, and I wasn't here at that time, was the main source of people being trained in jobs or for jobs, and a place for them to go and get jobs. So it became one of the main training grounds for people here in the Kalamazoo and surrounding area, where it was specifically designed, or at that time, part of their strategic planning was that they were educating people on jobs, on how to, and find jobs.
How to get a job, be ready for a job, go in, do that interview, how to carry yourself, the right mindset, all of that stuff, all that good stuff that we need to bring back. Oh my goodness.
And so if people want to learn more about the Douglas, the book is still being sold on Amazon. There is a book created for the 100 years of the Douglas Community Association. And I'm proud to say that I was the person who initiated getting that book wrote for them. Because we were celebrating 100 years, I thought, well, we need to create a book. And Sonia Bernard Hollins is the writer of that book. And so I want to give her a lot of props because she did the research for the book. So it wasn't just Sid the Rock doing it. You know, I found somebody who was a writer, and we contracted with her to create the book. And it's a very, very good historical book about the Douglas Community Association and the north side of Kalamazoo.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Mr. Ellis, I have to start calling you for the rest of this interview. Whoa, look at this long CV. Whoa, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So, now, I know that you're associated with the Rotary Club of Kalamazoo. I am so happy to be associated with the Rotary. You know, when I was in Chicago, I heard about the Rotary. And I always thought that it was just this group of old white men who would get off into a smoke-filled room and then leave the smoke-filled room. Had no idea what they did.
Yeah.
Because it was like a secret society or something. For me, it was. And then when I came to Kalamazoo, I started looking for opportunities to connect with people. And then Darrell McMillan, he told me about several places I should visit to try to join and connect with people, and one of the places was Rotary. When I first came to a Rotary meeting, I just felt like, okay, this is a good fit. This is a good fit.
You came and took it by storm just like you do everything. You came storming up in there and you was Marvinetta, and you've been Marvinetta since. I mean, you've always been Marvinetta. But for me, when you bust into the Rotary Club, you came in there ready.
Oh, my God.
And look at you.
Oh, my gosh. But, you know, you don't see yourself the way other people see you.
Right.
I just see myself as...
you a doer.
As a communicator.
Yeah.
And I love presenting. And it has just been a wonderful journey. And I'm glad that there is a place, you know, and a place where I can plug myself in and be accepted, because you're not always accepted wherever you go.
That's
but
correct.
I feel very accepted in Rotary, and I feel free to be, just free to be. So for you to say that is a compliment, and I don't take compliments well.
Well, the Rotary Club is a great organization, and I became a member of the Kalamazoo Rotary Club while I was at the Black Arts and Cultural Center.
Okay.
And a friend who was a white woman, Judy Moore, is the person who introduced me to the Rotary Club.
Nice.
And suggested that I come to a meeting, and then suggested that I join. And so I joined, and here I am. And
you were the president of the Kalamazoo.
I was the president of the Kalamazoo Rotary Club at one time for a year, and I was the first black president of the Kalamazoo Rotary Club.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny because when that happened, I didn't even think about it. I didn't think, okay, I'm the first black president. It just didn't come to mind because, and I guess because of my experience and my time here in Kalamazoo, in a lot of places, I was most of the time the only black man there, in a variety of different things that I was doing. And so at Rotary, I wasn't the only black man at Rotary, because one of my good friends, Bob Jones, who was the mayor of Kalamazoo at one time, and a member of my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, who I met while I was at college, he was a member of the graduate chapter. Okay. And now this is one of the things that's important about the black fraternities and sororities. As I mentioned before, we go on after college to get into our graduate chapter. So men and women who are working in the community, serving their community, who can then reach back and get students and other young members to join their club, or join, their club, of course, to join their chapter.
Yes.
and get them involved in the community, and or even if they don't join the chapter, there are men and women who can get their fraternity brothers and sisters involved in the community. And Bob Jones was one of those men.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is
and
he still around?
No, he passed.
Oh, okay.
He did pass several years ago.
Okay.
And so my point was that he was a member, and there were several other members of the Rotary Club. And so in any black members of the Rotary Club. So in any case, yeah, eventually I did become the first black president. Oh, my point was that by that time, there were so many firsts for black people, and it continues to be. You're all just always surprised to know, okay, I was the first. You know, this is the 2000s, and here I am the first. You know, you don't really think about that until somebody tells you.
Right.
And so in any case, that's what happened.
But we have to step up, and you've been so willing to step up and say, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll be the lion. I'll do the show. I'll write the book, or I'll get the book. I got an idea for a book for the Douglas Center. Somebody has to be willing to step up. My gosh, 45 minutes have gone by already.
Yeah.
This is amazing. This is amazing. I just want to ask a question. With all you've done here in Kalamazoo, how can we inspire more Sid the Rock Ellises to come up behind you, after you, to take on the roles that you have taken on, to step into those positions? Especially, I know that there may be some people at this level, but I'm always looking down at the babies, at the people who are still in school, and the people who are dealing with something that we, thank goodness, did not have to deal with, and that is cell phones and social media.
That's right.
And now coming up on AI.
So, you know, I think the things that we have to continue to do is continue to be a mentor to students, whether it's middle school, high school, elementary school. And it's best to try to reach them in middle school. By the time they get to high school, it's not too late. It's really not. Yet, at the same time, they've already kind of made up their minds of what they want to do, even though they don't totally know. But in middle school, and I would say in elementary school too, but in middle school, that's when they're really finding out who they are, what they can do, what they're capable of, and they're not afraid of trying. You know, they're still not afraid of trying. When they get to high school, they get into more of a group think, and you know what I'm saying? They get more involved in the cliques, and there are cliques in middle school, and there's even cliques in elementary school.
In elementary school, I just did a program in elementary school, and I'm
see
like,
the
let me
cliques.
work with them babies. Let me work with the first and second, third grade.
So I think that one of the things that we have to do is, like I said, continue to mentor them and continue to talk to them. One of the things that I've noticed since I've been serving here in Kalamazoo, especially our youth, is that they want to talk. We don't talk to them. We don't ask them questions. You know, we kind of like, well, you know, I think that adults don't recognize and realize how much kids have to offer and give. And then sometimes, I mean, you just have to force them. You know, you got to force them to talk. Hey, what are you doing? What do you want to do? What school do you go to? What grade are you in? Well, what are you thinking about doing? What do you do with your extra time? Are you reading right now? Are you reading a book? Oh, you like basketball. You read any books about basketball, about basketball players, about football, about writing, about acting, singing, dancing, architectural design, commercial art? What are you interested in? And I will say that I don't think that we publicize the good things that our youth are doing as much as we publicize the negative things that they're doing. And when I mean publicizing, even if it's just word of mouth. I mean, because if you know of a kid that's doing something, it's your job to publicize, to talk about it. Whatever they're doing. And celebrate it. And I would even say sometimes as adults, we don't publicize what our kids are doing, our individual kids, as much as we need to. Because sometimes I'll be talking to an adult, about what their kids are doing. I'm like, well, you didn't tell me about that.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me your son was doing this, that, and the other thing. And one of the things, especially if it's scholastic. So Kalamazoo Central High School basketball team went to the state championships 2 years in a row.
Oh.
You know who else went to a state championship?
Who?
The Kalamazoo Central High School mock jury went as well to the state championship. And it may not be mock jury. What is it? It's the mock something. I think it's not mock trial.
Yeah.
It's not mock jury.
But that's okay. You were close.
Yeah, the mock trial team.
Yes.
The mock trial team went to the championship and has gone to the championship almost every year during that time period.
Yes.
So during the time period that the basketball team was going to the state championship, the mock trial team had been going already, went during that same time, and won. So the years that Kalamazoo Central High School basketball team won the state championship, the mock trial team won the state championship as well.
Is that right?
And people didn't know it.
People didn't know. Oh, my goodness.
People didn't know. During the parade, during one of the parades, the parade, when Central basketball team won the state championship, I was walking through the parade, and I was purposely asking people, did you know that the mock trial team won the state championship as well? They didn't know. And I mean, nobody I asked in that crowd. Now, of course, I didn't ask everybody in the crowd.
But a good sample.
But a good amount of people I asked, and they did not know. Now, why is it they didn't know that? Because there were some black kids on that mock trial team.
Indeed.
It may have even been predominantly black. I can't say it was, but I know that it was led by a lawyer here in town named James Liggins, who helped lead that mock trial team. He wasn't the only one, but he was one of the leaders who helped develop those students to get them to the state championship.
Oh my goodness, that's a story to be told.
It's a major story. It wasn't on the front page of the newspaper. It wasn't on the local news.
Yes,
but something very positive, scholastic. I mean, these kids, their studying time was longer than the kids who practice football.
Practice thing,
And not to take anything away from the basketball players, not to take anything away from them, but those kids who did that mock trial team, they would be working from the end of school till like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
That's a lot
trying
of work.
to prepare themselves for that.
Oh my gosh.
So hours upon hours upon hours. And but who knows about it?
We got to tell our stories.
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 I would love
and
to
so
read
for
about
me,
that. I'd love to see a play
nothing
about it.
against their parents, but to me, their parents should have been shouting them out as much as the basketball team's parents were shouting them out. You you go to a basketball game here, Kalamazoo Central versus Lloyd Norris, you'll see the crowd. It's a full house. They had to take it to Western Michigan University.
Oh my God!
They couldn't do it at the high school level because it's too packed. Now, flip that to the mock trial team. And nobody knows about the mock trial team.
We got to tell better stories.
We got to tell better stories.
We got to tell better stories. So now we're going to come to the present. What you're doing in the present, because you just took on a new position.
Yes.
Yeah, I made that smooth segue.
Yes,
because
you did.
Time is running out, and I've
right.
got to get to this. You have taken on a new title, another title. So tell us about the work that you are currently doing.
Currently, I am the executive director of Ministry with Community. We are a dig shelter for the homeless, but not just for, unhoused.
Okay.
A day shelter, and we have so many things. I can't even name everything that we do at this day shelter for the unhoused. But from 6:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m., we're open every day of the year. 365 days of the year, okay? And we kind of coincide with the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission in terms of timing. So the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission their emergency overnight shelter lets out at 6:30, which is the time that we open.
Okay.
We let out at 4 p.m., which is the time that they're open. So there's always some place for the unhoused to be. And so we serve breakfast in the morning and lunch in the afternoon. But we also have showers. They can come in, they can sign up for a shower. They can sign up also to do their laundry. And so that's another thing. Those are other things that we do. And hygiene, of course, as you know, is very important. And we receive and accept financial donations and, of course, in-kind donations. So we have a variety of toiletries for them to use. So whether it's toothpaste, feminine hygiene, underwear, bras, underwear for the men and women, and all types of things for your hygiene. So whether it's shaving, deodorant, antiperspirant, you can get it all for free at the Ministry with Community. And then, of course, we have social workers that are there every day of the week.
Wow.
We had to hire some new ones. So now we're in a position that there's a social worker at Ministry with Community every day of the week, Sunday through Saturday. So there's always a social worker there. We have therapists there through ISK. They're there every day, Monday through Friday. And then we have a variety of other outside organizations that come in to help the unhoused with housing, jobs, all types of things. And so Google Ministry with Community, find out the variety of things that we have. I'm learning something new every day about the organization.
How long has it been around?
The organization has been around for about 45 years now. And so it started out in a church. It started out in that Ministry with Community. We are secular now, but it started out as a church, a small ministry in a church that grew and grew and grew. Yep, we've been in the building, and I'm saying new building, for about 8 years now. And it is a newer facility, of course, but it's been around for 8 years. So it's not decaying or anything like that, but it's not as totally fresh and new as it was, but it is. I mean, we've done a good job of keeping this building up, whether it's the outside and the inside. It's a beautiful building, a beautiful structure.
And you have something coming up, am I right?
Yeah, I have an open house at Ministry with Community on Thursday, the 17th, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And we invite the community to come out. It's an opportunity to meet the new executive director, but tour the building and also find out about the variety of different things that we have going on. Even the opportunity for people to volunteer. We have volunteers
to volunteer or to
get involved or to give.
Yeah.
Give financially.
Yeah.
And so we have volunteers that come in that do hair, a barber that comes in that does haircuts.
Nice.
We have people that come in that play bingo. We have, of course, people who come and volunteer to help serve food, and people who come in and volunteer to help in the social services area where we have the clothes and things like that. For sometimes people need clothing. So right now we had a heavy thing on rain ponchos, people giving rain ponchos. And so,
good.
you know, a variety of different things. Like I said, I can't even name everything.
Okay, that is wonderful. Unfortunately, this won't air before Thursday.
Oh, okay.
But people will always know when they look at the video. They'll know.
They'll know.
You know who you guys are, where you are,
and they can visit us.
Still take an opportunity. We'll try to get a link on this podcast. So that
we're at 500 North Edwards.
500 North Edwards, and the name again is
Ministry with Community.
Ministry with Community. So if you want to Google it, please feel free. We will try to put a link in the podcast so that people can just click on it.
That would
go
be great.
Right there.
That would be awesome.
As you can see, I'm losing my voice again, but that's okay because this is so interesting. Now, you have had such a rich life, of not only growing yourself, but to give back to others, to make impacts in the community, to make impact in the lives of others that you have worked with. Where did you get that spirit from? Was it your mother, your father, what part of your life? And we only have a couple of minutes for this, but I gotta hear this.
I have no idea, except that my grandfather was the pastor of the church,
Yes.
Famous Hill Missionary Baptist Church. He was a servant of the community. My mom, a beautiful person, beautiful woman. She did serve in some ways. I won't about to say I think, but she was a girl, Boy Scout leader for my brother's Boy Scout troop. For several years, and of course she served in the church in a variety of different things that she did with my grandfather. My father, who, like I said, did not have an extensive relationship with, like I said, he eventually became a minister and was one of the ministers of his church on the church staff. Didn't spend a lot of time with him, though, so I'm not sure what part of this I got from him, and it may be a major part, but I don't know.
It's in the genes.
Yeah, it's in the genes.
It's in the genes.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't have to know. All we know is that we have it. And if we do some extensive research, just a little bit of research sometimes, we can see the genesis of it. And the most important thing is that you got it.
Yeah. And I can say I come from a large family. My mother had 17 siblings, I believe, if I sit and count how many. There was one set, the older set, with her brothers and sisters that were direct from her mom. And then her mom passed when she was young, about 6 years old. And my grandfather remarried, and he remarried the woman that I knew as my grandmother. She had 4 kids already, and then she had 6 more kids. And so it's 18 of them. Now, I'm learning more things about them all the time. So like you said, it's not just something that I invented, but I'm also learning that I had an aunt who just passed. I learned that she was an actor in high school. She was a musician, and she got into, I believe, banking or accounting. She got involved in accounting. But like I said, she was acting. I had another uncle who was an actor. He acted in high school and in college. And so, yeah, you're right. There's some things, and I'm always learning. I'm like, wow, they were doing these things that I didn't even know.
You got to write that story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is time. Oh, my goodness, what a wonderful interview. And you see how things just come back around. If you wait long enough, everything comes right back around. People told me that this Sid the Rock Ellis was the person to know. I have gotten to know him a little bit better, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to come on my podcast.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you out there for tuning in once again for All Stories Matter. Remember, ask someone about their story. Just take a few minutes to ask them, so tell me your story. And you'll be surprised that they will be so happy, and you will be so happy that you did. Until next time, hang in there, be tough. Come on, people, and do your stuff. Show your stuff. That was one of the cheers we had when I was a cheerleader in high school. I don't know why it came back to me. But in these times, these challenging times that we're going through, it's important to keep a sense of humor, too.
So
on that note, smile and make somebody else's day. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you.